Welcome to another edition of Just Unsecure, where we focus on information, knowledge, and wisdom on how more effective you can be as a cybersecurity leader. My name is Babz, and my co-host, OO, with cybersecurity professionals. And today's topic, we'll be looking at, I won't say top 10 or top 20, we're just looking at all the predictions for 2023 and see how we fare this year. How you doing?
For me, I'm excited to see what kind of prediction we have for this year, especially looking at the dynamic of cybersecurity in these days. And meanwhile, things have changed. The economy is opening up, so we're seeing different things. It will be exciting to see what happens in 2023.
Absolutely. When we say predictions, proactive identity, like identity
Hmm.
management. And I think that is something I think most people face that right now, like being able to identify users within the space, ensuring that, okay, this user is allowed within the infrastructure or your network. But I think there's another element people will now start looking into. It's not just having a proactive identity management, but actively having another proactive provisioning and deprovisioning um,
Of identity.
activity of identity. So what do we mean by this? First we want to know who's coming in. But why don't we know why do we have to know who's coming in all the time in terms of, let me reword it carefully here, is getting users to request, get the approval, and they are automatically provisioned
Hmm.
based on what the system already knows they require. So just imagine if I get a request from a manager A, and I get an approval from a manager A, I get another approval from manager B, which indirectly means I only need access to a particular area, and it automatically knows that this manager can only approve because it means you are given this particular rights to view this particular information or be part of this particular group or be able to go in this particular network. So
Absolutely.
having some form of automation in identity management within the network space, or should I say even within the cloud space, to be honest, is something that I think most organizations will be going into in 2023. How about you? Oh.
Absolutely. In fact, what you mentioned has a lot to rely on identity intelligence, you know, in such a way in which you can actually do provisioning and deprovisioning, onboarding and offboarding added on top
Yep.
of your governance that you currently have.
Okay, I think another area people are going to be looking at, to be honest, is convergence of security tools. And what do we mean by this? There are lots of security tools out there, and I'm sure in your organization and in different organizations, you have multiple tools that might be doing the same thing,
Hmm.
especially if you're in a DevOps setup or organization where you have the development unit using some kind of security tools, and you have the operation unit using similar operation tools, and they don't seem to converge. And I think in 2023, you'll see organizations tightening the, should I say, the budget or tightening the belt to ensure that, okay, if this same tool can be used in development, then it can cut across and be used in operations as well. But the thing you're going to have to watch out from that perspective is obviously what we talked about in the first one, which is identity management, making sure that everyone has a least privileged role or need to know role in what they're doing. So obviously, if you're in DevOps, then you shouldn't have access to be able to scan in production environment.
Absolutely.
But again, you are just using the same set of tools, and that's what I mean. Like, same organization. If you're in the same organization, you should use the same set of tools, but have a stringent identity management within the tools to be able to say, okay, these are the security operations tools using this tool for production, and another set of organizations using the same set of tools for staging or for development. And I think that is where I see most of organizations 23 trying to converge most of security tools. What about your?
I think you're spot on, right? Sometimes it's a wall of tools that we have in the enterprise. Even within the security operation itself, you have so many tools that probably are not talking to one another. And sometimes you're managing so many tools as well, which means you have different skill level, and that could be complex. And the enemy of security is actually complexity. So when you have a convergence of tool across the enterprise, that will give better visibility, better management, even better budget. So you might be probably even looking at each of the tools that are not that you might check out some specific tools, but at the same time, probably that is going to be lowered, and then you can now have tools that probably can do so many things at the same time, and also be integrated so that you can use it in the environment. I think that would be one of the great things. Another one,
Yeah.
moving to the third one, is now when it comes to collaboration technology. Even within operations of security, right? Sharing information, sharing intelligence becomes very low level, because the more you know, actually, that is when you can actually do stuff. So you need intelligence from somewhere else, cooperation with even external feeds, communities that can provide real-time intelligence. It might even be physical meetings with law enforcement agencies to know the new threat level. That might be a case now. That might happen in 2023, because we've known that the earlier you know, and the information that you have, because of 0 days that are coming up that has never been seen before, that is when you can
Yeah.
actually defend against cyber threats. Go ahead.
I think for the collaboration tools, I think due to the emergence of COVID-19 and more to come, I think the collaboration tools, from my own perspective, is going to be more interesting because more people are going to collaborate more, because that era of COVID-19 2 years ago saw that you can actually collaborate and still have results. Some people work throughout the entire COVID-19 straight from home, and we've noticed even some organizations were doing it, but we're not should I say, in the forefront of saying everybody work from home until COVID came. And when COVID came, everybody started working from home. And that brought about more collaboration tools. For example, Teams, Skype, everybody started getting more involved. I think there are lots of collaboration tools now out and about that many organizations I see in 2023 will even adopt. Not the well-known ones, but there are little ones out there that people say, "Wow, this kind of mind mapping." Using mind mapping from a collaboration perspective instead of a simple whiteboard, I think that is something what people are going to start seeing, that they're going to be innovative ideas within the collaboration space to see what else they need to do without necessarily being physical. Though physical is good, I must confess, it's sometimes good to actually be in the office and seeing your colleagues and talking to them. But I think the more we get into the working from home and giving that digital liberation, I think more people will start seeing more collaboration tools that allow you to be more effective working from anywhere in the world and not necessarily having that maybe guilty conscience that, oh, I'm not able to fulfill some certain tasks because I'm not, close by to the unit or to the department or, to your managers. I think collaboration tools will be something to look forward to. Different
Yeah.
concepts, different features. That's the way to go.
Yeah. So I'm very good. I'm very happy that we've given you two perspectives to collaboration. One, collaboration on the intelligence side. Two, collaboration tools on the business side. Kanban boards, Jira becomes more useful right now. Now, bringing the two into the convergence means you need to find a way more to secure the collaboration tools, because that means your content have moved to those environment and it's being used by business more and by end users.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that's a very good thing for the CISOs, the CTOs, the CIOs, the information security manager to actually pin on how do we secure the collaboration tools and how do we get collaboration even on our security as well. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Babs.
yeah, absolutely. Just to even because I want to look at some other areas that just popped into my mind right now. I think from a security perspective, I think organizations, especially like what we talked about now, being able to do some things remotely, I think organizations will be looking at isolating browser isolation, or should we call it evolution of the endpoint? Should we put it like that? So we have system like Asus or Chrome tabs, which are dedicated to particular browsers only. You can only use Chrome within the Chrome laptop. But I think organizations will be more stricter in 2023 to say, look, for you to be able to use our solution, you must use it on Edge, you must use it on Firefox, you must use it on Google Chrome, or you must use it on which are some other browsers out there. So I think they'll be more strict. And why would you say this? I think the reason why people would do this is to be able to have control. First is control of updates, control of patching, control of what where users can go to retrieve information about the organization. So, and it's a way to actually minimize your attack vector, should I say. So if you have 3 or 5 different browsers, you need to be worried about 3 or 5 different attack vectors. If you had only one browser, you'd only need one browser, one attack vector, worried about that, making sure it's up to date. If there was a 0-day attack, the vendor will obviously put out a patch and you assure that, yes, everyone in your entire organization is patched and nothing for you to worry about. I think browser isolation is something that 2023 might be something to look into.
That's great. For me, I believe there's going to be a unified mapping of compliance controls, especially when it comes to compliance controls. Right now, you have so many regulations, and more are going to become effective in the next year, even for small businesses as well. So we've seen different regions, different companies, different countries implementing different regulations. So how will CISO or CIO manage all of this? You cannot say, oh, for PCI, this is compliance control for this. And then you come back to a programmer who is developing a tool, which is developing a solution that has to be compliant to A, B, C, D of all kinds of regulations. You can't bring each controls to them at every time. So you must find a way in which to be able to map all of these controls to say, yes, if you meet A controls, that means you also meet regulation A, B, C, D. And those controls have to be built in. This will make it much more easier to even collaborate with developers, with third parties that is working on our systems, with outsourcing partners as well. And also to be able to build that to our third party that's actually we are interfacing with as well, because third party audit also requires that we at least mention some of the controls that they need to comply with. So I believe 2023 is a place where there'll be a lot of hard work to map all the controls and unify them according to different compliance.
Absolutely. I think that is one area that most people are really, really worried or burdened about, especially compliance or GRC specialists like myself.
Yeah.
we're looking. It's good to have an umbrella, like you said, an umbrella framework that covers 95% of your requirement to know that, yeah, all this is out of the way. I think 2023, like you said, will be something there. And I think there's will double check, but there's something called there's some organizations that already provide that, which is open source on the internet, like I think it's Secure Score, but I'll verify that and we'll put it in the chat. They have it all detailed out already, which is quite good. Another area, 2023, you're gonna love this one. Oh, I think it's chatbot. that AI chatbot.
Oh
I've
no.
trust me. Whoa, that I heard about it. I logged onto it. I tried it once, tried it twice. I'm like, this is gonna kill Google. So for me, I think 2023 we're going to see lots of AI. I think we're going to see lots of AI things and AI, this integration of chatbot into organizations. There's some doing it already, but I think using this current AI chatbot that everyone's talking about, and it was amazing the way it answered questions, the information it gave. I was quite impressed, and I think if you can have that level of interaction with a chatbot and you take that into a customer service perspective online and be able to chat, and it gives you close to 95% of the response you want. I think, yeah, but I also feel like, there's lots of room for improvement for the chat GPT, for example. Yeah, chat GPT. But the chat GPT already, I got colleagues who are integrating it into job search, into trying to see what they can actually do with chat GPT to be able to churn out some codes. It reviews codes. I'm not a developer, but all of my developer friends were telling me, whoa, like, whenever they do an error, they just go into chat GPT and you say, what is this? And it cleans their code for them, tell them what they've done wrong, what they've done right. So I think it's a game changer from my perspective. And I think 2023, we're going to see lots of AI orientated, just like ChatGPT, but many more are going to spring up. And I think the only saving grace that ChatGPT, or Google, should I say, has over ChatGPT right now is that you need Google to actually authenticate to use ChatGPT. You can use other, but as long as you have Google, you just click on authenticate and you're able to use ChatGPT. So I think, yeah, for 2023, using Chatbox will be something to look at for 2023.
I think it's starting. I think it was late yesterday. I was just saw a news flash that ChatGPT has been used to more like write a polymorphic malware.
You
So
see what I mean?
we are starting from there. Regulations need to start. So another one is
Yeah.
one of the things that's going to be a prime game is third party. A lot of organizations are not doing what it means to secure or to audit or to hold a third party provider or vendor to start. So we'll probably see an increased compromise on the third party related sleep on the enterprise. So if you're listening today and you have third parties, think you need to more go down deep to make sure your third party are holding up the flag. Because if you are doing everything at your own end, you just need that weakest link to come in and destroy whatever castle or whatever defense that you've built. So a lot of companies will be less truthful about their third party, but we hope that organization will take it more seriously about what their third party is doing and hold them responsible so that at least we have less compromise in 2023. But this is a prediction that
Yeah.
we know, Babz, that a lot of compromise is going to come that is related to a third party not getting security up to par.
Yeah, I think there's one that came to my mind that for 2020 you mentioned it, but I don't think you didn't dive into it. And I think when you said laws, looking at laws, and I think for me that's a very very valid point for 2023 because with the advent of, like I said, chat gpt, different security tools out there, the cloud being the next big thing, or should I say it's already the big thing, everybody moving to the cloud asap. There are going to be laws, and the laws are still going to be vague. Many people are getting to understand the cloud infrastructure. Many people are still trying to understand the security requirements. And I believe 2023, there'll be loads and loads of laws governing data security, cybersecurity, and again, those laws will be vague in 2023 because people are yet to understand the security requirements and the data security requirements needed for data to be within one's cyberspace. So I think, yeah, looking at the laws and looking at cybersecurity laws that are going to come up in 2023, I think that is one area that we should all look at. There will be loads of laws coming out due to improvements, or should I say, due to the technological trend of what's happening now in our space.
Yeah.
You don't want any particular law out there for you or that you think of?
I've seen it's I think the North Americans coming out more for privacy laws, especially when it comes to small businesses as well. So I've seen fly an hint of regulations that are going to become enforced, especially when it comes to North America on small businesses. You know, small businesses have been hit hard during the pandemic, especially a lot of them are not prepared for security. You know, the enterprise always have all the kinds of law governing different things, but the less regulated industry as well are going to get more laws pounded on them, even across the world, even in Europe as well. So the highs is turning to all the other areas. You know, the banks of this world, the telecoms, all of those guys already, they are used to regulations, but the smaller companies are not used to it. Now, I think based on what you said, and I thought of it like, oh, that's true. Babz is actually spot on that. A lot of laws are coming out, which is now much more broader, and we take care of the small businesses as well. So that's another area to look at.
Any other area from your perspective? Any other one that comes to mind?
Another prediction that comes to mind is enterprise level passwordless security. You know, we've seen a little bit of consumer base because the MFAs have been compromised, as you know, right? So the fact that you have multi-factor authentication doesn't mean that you're protected. The target is now even much more reduced on your system. The target is now on identity. Organizations and more system, and as you have said, more organizations are now moving most of their workloads, if not all, now to the cloud, especially the ERPs of this world. We believe that there's going to be an enterprise level kind of passwordless authentication. We've seen consumer grade, but I think on the enterprise level, this is going to become more mainstream in 2023.
That's well, yeah. I can't fault you on that. I think I think was it Google or Microsoft were looking already at the passwordless authentication, and we also had a topic on it. So look out for that topic on passwordless authentication. So for me, 2023 and beyond there's going to be an increase on the CISO liability clause. And what do I mean by this? I mean, the CISOs will be held more accountable to ensure the security of organizations. I think this guy, what's his name? The guy for Uber, I can't remember his name. The former CISO for Uber left Uber. And obviously, there was a security incident that occurred that led to Uber paying off the hackers or something similar. And because he left, he assumed, okay, I've left the organization. That came back to haunt him. And I think to be good to know what the CISO liability clause is for every CISO and every aspiring CISO to say, okay, do I have the ability not to be found wanting if something goes wrong in what I've done? Not that I'll be held liable to say, okay, someone got hacked, they contacted us, we had to pay, we didn't tell the general public. Will I be held accountable? Or a solution I deployed within the environment was used to compromise the entire organization? Will I be held liable? Or the tool we deployed had a Trojan horse? Will I be liable? There are lots of things that comes along being a CISO that I think in 2023 the CISO liability clause will have to be included in every contract for every aspiring CISO, or every CISO saying, look, okay, I'm taking this job, but I'm going to do it to the best of my ability as a CISO. However, I need to have a CISO liability clause saying you ain't going to take me down if A, B, C, D happens to the organization. And I think this is something most organizations, and the fact that the threat level or the threat vectors are increasing nowadays, I think this is something that most organizations, especially CISOs, will be looking at, putting within their contracts, should I say. So, yeah, I think the CISO liability clause is something that will increase this year. Any other one?
Absolutely. For me, there's no really other one, but just the usual one that might happen in the year. For me, I think there's going to be an increase. I see an increase in the mentorship demand for
Yep.
professionals.
Yep.
This is required in
Absolutely.
the industry. I think a lot of professionals now realizing like, man, it's not only about my education, it's also about learning from the guys who have been able to work on this. So there should I think CISOs that have thrived in the industries and people like us that have worked in the industry for a while should look forward to mentoring other people. Why? Because we need more hands to defend. We need more security experts. We need more security professionals. We need more seasoned professionals to be in the field because we cannot do it all. We have already deficits of professionals in the industry. So bringing people up to speed in education and mentoring in 2023 will be a critical role to fill in the backlog that we already have.
And the thought just crossed my mind right now that what for all those listening to this episode, put a comment in the chat, and we would want, if you want to be mentored by myself and OO, put a comment in the chat or reach out to us at team at justunsecure.com, and let's start a mentorship program with a twist. It's always going to be a twist. It's not a typical mentorship program, but I think it will be something interesting. Let's see how many people are interested in it, and maybe we'll drop some mentorship program for everyone that wants to be mentored by myself. And what do you think about that?
That'll be a great opportunity for anyone who really want to hop up the game, maybe learn some of the things that we've gone through in the past several years and being able to be up to speed. It is in the interest of everybody. This is a community and we're willing to create that community.
And I think for me, I don't have anything else. I don't know about you. Is there anything else from your perspective?
Yeah, for me, I'm looking forward to some gadgets this year that can make security better. If anything like that, maybe implementing an AI in my home or somewhere that can actually bring some intelligence to me. You understand? I need to improve that.
Nice.
So if you have any suggestion as a viewer, please point that to me. This is something that can bring a lot of intelligence to you in the defense of the home. I want AI-driven, ML-driven solutions, not just anything.
Absolutely.
Wow me, please.
And that's it. And we'll round up the show.
Have a great day.
And don't forget to subscribe, follow us on LinkedIn, Just Unsecure on Twitter. And if you want to mail us, team at justunsecure.com. We respect your email. And see you all next week. Have a great one.